Hey y'all, did y'all hear about this alienation of affection lawsuit that's going on? Well, let me inform y'all, right? There's this TikTok influencer. Her name is Brenay Kennard, and the person that's suing her is named Akira Montague. Brenay Kennard is a TikTok influencer, and Akira is her cousin slash friend, although it's not really clarified how they're cousins. Okay, so Akira is accusing Brenay of stealing her husband and causing her marriage to come to an end. They are currently in trial now because I think all of this started back in 2024 at some point. Again, they are currently in a trial with Brenay Kennard representing herself. Okay, so let me give y'all some highlights from this case, but first let me cite my sources, where I gathered all the information and put the pieces together. Raleigh News and Observer, The Independent, and People Magazine. And there are plenty of YouTube videos out there as well. I believe Black Goddess is one who is currently at the trial, and she's giving blow by blow of what's going on at the trial. Okay, and some of the stuff she's saying is just, these people are trifling. And you know how they say the wife is always the last to know? Child, listen. So alienation of affection is a law that is still on the North Carolina books. This law was derived around the 1850s. To win an alienation of affection case, the plaintiff, aka Akira, must show that there was a loving marriage that existed and that the love was destroyed by a third party, aka Brenay Kennard. She has to prove her case by using evidence such as testimony, photos, or other documentation. Now, if y'all remember, singer Fantasia Barrino and reality star Nene Leakes were also sued for the same situation of alienation of affection by their spouses. So here are some of the highlights from this trial. Brenay Kennard was actually married at the time to a Devin Mayo, who is now a witness in this trial, I believe, on Akira's side. Okay, they got a divorce at some point. Devin was asked if he will sue Timothy Montague for alienation of affection, and he says yes. Baby, we're gonna have a second trial. Okay. We got Akira and Timothy Montague. According to Akira, they had a loving marriage. She supported Timothy while he was in school, which was college, and she worked and held the family down, while he was in school. I gotta do a little more research. I wonder if he was in school for some type of sports like football, basketball, or something, but I'll do a little more research on that. They have children together. I believe they have 4 children, and her children have been witnesses to Timothy and Brenay's affair in her home. Baby, what's Snoop Dogg? 1-8 on them. Okay, they did all of this while she was at work, under the assumption that Brenay was babysitting her children, although the father was there. I'm just saying. Okay, Akira said Brenay was her best friend and even watched her children at the time when Timothy was at school. Akira's attorney is proving with the text message and photos that there was love and affection in the marriage. Akira said the marriage was fine. They just had financial issues. Well, maybe, Timothy was enticed by Brenay, who was a TikTok influencer. Like, I don't know how much money she was making, but, men are stupid. But anyway, so much so that she borrowed, back to Akira. She said they had financial issues, so much so that she borrowed a lot of money from her family to support Timothy and her family while he was away in college. And this is one of the last highlights I got for Akira. Akira's attorney asked Timothy, at some point, did you stop being intimate with your wife? He says, yes. And the attorney ended up showing text, whereas I guess they gave a date of when he stopped being intimate with his wife. I didn't quite get that date in these articles or the videos. But again, I'm going to do a little more research. And the date that he claims that they stopped being intimate, she showed text afterwards of that date showing that they were texting each other back and forth about their, intimate moments, even after the date of the quote-unquote separation of the two. Then we have Timothy Montague. I'm going to give you his highlights. He said he only married Akira for a housing situation for college. I'm assuming that they had to get married, to get this housing. But when the mother testified, she said they got married so that they could live with the mother. I'm not understanding that part of it. He claims he never loved her. He just married her for a housing situation and that they were roommates. So in between all of that, they had 4 kids. Okay. He testified that Akira and him had talks about separation, and Akira gave him permission to date Brenay. Baby. He also had his mother and sister testify to the hostile and toxic marriage. The sister said she had to drop out of college because of the stress of their marriage, because at some point she was living with them while she was in college, but it was too stressful for her, so she had to drop out. The mother said when their relationship was bad, it was bad. Both mother and sister testified to an incident where Akira, swept her hand across the table or countertop towards Timothy, and a candle was burning and the wax from the candle got on his shirt. The family, along with Timothy and Brenay, claimed that the texts that are being shown do not seem real or authentic. Timothy stated that the photos, so what? Like, don't you smile in pictures? Basically saying like, yeah, I took the pictures, but that don't prove love and affection. Chill. The mother testified that once they said, I do, she cried because she knew their marriage would end quickly. The sister also testified that Akira and Timothy had a playful relationship, but her brother was a horrible husband. Well, baby, I think that was a point towards Akira case, okay? The other things that came out that's highlighted is, I think I mentioned it, like they were having sex in the household that Akira lived in with her husband while her children were there. There was even a point where they said she asked one of the children to bring her some wipes so she could wipe herself off. How disrespectful. The crazy part too is that she's representing herself. Baby, I can't. But tell me what y'all think. I'm gonna try to keep up with this case because this is crazy. The worst part of it is, this case is that Akira thought this girl was her friend / cousin. She trusted her. Brianna was married at the time, so she never thought 1 second that Brianna would even look towards her husband. Like I said, the wife always the last to know. And what I didn't mention is that she's suing for $3.5 million. Okay? Y'all think she gonna get that $3.5 million? Even if she don't, she might get a nice sum because Akira is proving her case. Her and her attorney, they are proving their case, okay? And I also read somewhere where, outside the courtroom, Timothy got into a kerfuffle with somebody. I can't remember who he got into it, where he got arrested. Baby, this trial is picking up on attention because, one, I guess because she's a TikTok influencer. So, baby, I'm going to keep up with it, too. It has grabbed my interest. All right, y'all? Come down in the comment section. Let me know if y'all heard about this case. Again, I'm going to try to keep up with it. And if y'all get some info, let me know. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know where I could go look to get more details about this case. Again, I also mentioned that Black Goddess, I believe she's on TikTok, but on YouTube, there's people taking her videos and, showing her videos. So that's how I got most of my information too. Anyway, like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. And I will get back with y'all on this case because, baby, it's getting good. It's getting good. And, I'm on the side of the wife, okay? You're letting people all up in your goddamn house and they violating you and then smiling in your face. Ooh. Had flashbacks. Anyway, y'all, peace.